guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Newbie Booktube Tag and I'm really excited. I think it started with Brenda C. I'm not sure, either way I'm going to write I think that name down below. That's at least what I got when I googled it. So I'm really excited to be talking about what I want for this channel and why I started it, and just do a whole video dedicated to booktube. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, hit the bell down below, and comment for any additional videos that you want me to do. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So number one, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I needed a creative outlet. It's been a really hard year for me, and I've dealt with a lot of losses, and you just hit a point where you need something positive and you need something you can consistently work towards. And why not it be something that you love? Like, I love to watercolor, I love to paint, I love to read, I love to sing. And this was something different. It was something new. And yes, it's something that a lot of people are doing. But what better community to be involved in than with the community of something I'm really passionate about? Which I know is the answer for a lot of people, but I mean, there's a reason why it is. There's a reason why we're doing this. Because it's fun, because it's challenging, because it's something different, because it keeps us reading, because we get to talk about what we love to read and our characters. And I used to go to the midnight premieres, and they don't do those anymore. And that's where I would meet most of my friends, because they would be the people that loved the characters that I loved and that were passionate about it too. And there's just no other real meeting ground these days for that, except for on the internet. So that's why I'm doing the channel. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? Well, I've seen a couple of these newbie ones, and I've seen enough to know that it's not always about being different. Sometimes it's about being a different version of the same. And for me, I wish I would have had something like this when I was 15 or 16. And so my goal is to be a booktube channel that age group can watch and get recs of books that they might love and enjoy too. But my goal is to also grow as a reader myself. And so as far as the different things I can bring to booktube, it's mostly just the understanding that our reading tastes change and reaching out to a group of readers that will help inspire us each day. And I'm really excited to try to do different types of creative videos, but I'm also not going to say that I'm just throwing out the rule book and doing everything absolutely different, because I love booktube. I love what it is. I think that things need to change in every single aspect of life, but why not embrace the good parts? And most of the good parts are the hauls, are the TBRs, are the wrap-ups, are the reviews. Like, those are my favorite things. So I'm just excited to bring those things from my perspective. What are you most excited about for this new channel? I am really excited for the idea of friendship. I'm really excited to meet some people who have similar tastes to my own. A lot of the things I'm excited about I've already discussed, but it's just that idea of reaching out to a different group of readers, to readers that are the same like me, like hopefully finding people that have read all of the Series of Unfortunate Events and have read the Click books. Like, that would be awesome, because I don't know anybody else who's read the Click books before. The people that have read all the Gossip Girl books, but have also read Tolstoy. Like, those are the things that those are the tastes that I've developed. So I'm excited to meet people who are the same as me in that way, and to see how I can evolve my tastes as I get older. Why do you love reading? This question's really personal for me. I grew up in an extremely abusive home, and my dad was sick for most of my life as well. So whenever we'd go to the hospital, I would bring a book and I would read it while he was in surgery, and that happened a lot. So those times I brought The Princess Diaries, and Mia Thermopolis got me through. And then there were times where I didn't understand why things were happening to me, and that's when the Baudelaire triplets would be there. And not triplets, but the Quagmires. But they would be there, and they would help me, and they would get me through it. And then there were days that I just felt like I couldn't go on, and then Ellen Hopkins would write a book that was deeply challenging and transformed the way that I was thinking. I love to read because it's everything. You read all the time. Even if you don't like to read, you still read. It creates worlds. It's fantastical. It's mind-bending. It's surprising. It's different. Reading is it's so special, and it's something that connects us, even if you don't like to do it. I love to read because it's a deeply ingrained part of me. These characters are part of me. I will grow up thinking about them. I will grow up learning from their experiences, even if they're fictional. It's an outlet, and it's a beautiful way to get out frustration and angst and anger and happiness and sadness. I mean, it's a great distraction, but it's also a really great lesson. So I love to read because it's everything that I am. And I hope that people read for the same reason. I'm sure that they do, but that's why personally I love it. And I will be a reader even if I do this channel for years, or even if I don't ever make another video. Me being a reader is never going to change. Even the formats that I read on change, but that's why I love to read. What book or book series got you into reading? This is kind of tough. I read the Madison Finn series, which is about a girl blogger, and I loved, oh my god, I loved those books. The writing was so dynamic, and it was so age appropriate for like a middle schooler to read. And then I read the series of Unfortunate Events. I know I'm listing a lot, but I mean, what reader can just say what's the first book that taught them to love? But probably the Lizzie McGuire series. I was a Lizzie McGuire girl, and the series of Unfortunate Events. Both of those books and book series are what taught me to love reading. It was the idea of going into a different world and creating it with all new characters that I might know, but I can still make differently for myself. You know, the Baudelaire siblings look different to me than they do for some of my other friends. Like, they just do. The other book that I died reading, it was so good, when I was in middle school, was Angels Unlimited by Annie Dalton. Loved this book. Oh my god, it was so cute. And I think they talked a lot about wardrobes, and it was about how she went back into the 20s, and it was the first time as a guardian angel. And I loved this book. And also, the only other time I've lost a book was when I got the sequel to this, so I never got a chance to read it. But this book just put me into a whole different world. And I remember I was driving home with my parents from Tennessee, and I was reading this book, and I was just, it kept me from being scared of the dark. So I love this book. Mostly because I had a light too, so I wasn't as scared, but you get me. You get it. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I don't think I have a lot of questions for booktubers right now. I would probably ask them about like how to continue building a following, how to reach out to a certain amount of people, how to keep what you love and keep reading what you love, but also balance the demands of what other people want to have reviewed for them. Like, so it's mostly just starter up questions that I have is what I would ask for them at this moment. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Probably just building a following. It's a lot, and it's not about the fame. It's not about money, obviously. It's about building a following of people who like to read what you read. It's about being that person that reaches out to the other people like myself, or to the opposite, who just really want a different of opinion. I think that's the hardest challenge to overcome. I'm not really camera shy, so I wasn't as scared to sit down in front of a camera and start talking. It's more or less just the idea of finding those people like me and making friends with some people who love the same literature that I do. When did you start reading? Well, I probably started reading for real in middle school. I think I was like 11 or 12. I was really bad at math, and I was trying to get through all the math classes, and that's when my life started to get the toughest. And I picked up a book, started reading, and I didn't stop. Where do you read? So when I was younger, the only safe place that I could read was in my bathroom. I would sit with my back against the door and I would inhale. That's how I read Twilight. Nowadays, I read on my couch. I'll read in my bed. I don't really take books out with me because I don't like my books to get damaged, and they'll get damaged typically if I take them out. They'll end up in my car, they'll end up in my purse, and they'll get bent or something, and I hate that. So I try to be as realistic as possible before I leave the house if I'm actually gonna have time to read. But I'll read almost anywhere. I'll read on a train, I'll read in a car, I'll read on a cliff, I don't know, but where I typically read is at home. What kind of books do you like to read? Well, okay, so I'm going to introduce you guys to an alter ego that I'm going to have in this channel, and she's called 15-Year-Old Sherry, and that's what I like to read even nowadays. I have read a lot of Twilight fan fiction, and I blame most of that on 15-Year-Old Sherry. She's still with the hearts in her eyes, wanting Edward Cullen, sitting, chilling, like, oh, but are they going to be together? But nowadays, I like to read more sophisticated reading, or I try to, because, you know, I want to be real cool. But nowadays, I like to read, like, a lot of fantasy, a lot of, like, fiction. I still read a lot of YA, but typically those are my 3 areas of interest. I don't read a whole lot of nonfiction. I am desperately trying. That's what I would like to get into more of, because I do think it's important to read nonfiction and biographies. I feel like you learn a lot. But as far as what I like to read now, it's fiction, fantasy, YA. I don't read a whole lot of romance, even though I like romance. Those cheesy covers, I don't have any time for them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment on any books you'd like me to read, any content you'd like me to post. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!